Why is the sound so low? There we go. What's up, y'all? Microphone check, movie review. Welcome. We're about to talk about the premiere of Microphone Check, a Tariq Nasheed documentary film. I encourage you guys to please go ahead and buy that. And you better buy it, nigga. None of that. Hey yo, Derek, you got that new Microphone Check? Yeah. So when you done, man, let me get a copy of it real quick. Let me see. I just want to see it one time, man. Yeah. Just let me see it one time when you finish with it. Nah, nigga, buy your own. But never hear you niggas complain about no goddamn $30. Fuck out of here. And I want to say thank you to Tariq Nasheed for doing this film, for making me a part of it, and for really setting the record straight. Because I learned a lot. I learned a lot from this. I learned a lot from this film. I learned a lot because that time period in hip hop between 1973 and 1983, for the most part, is non-existent. Is missing. I won't say it's non-existent. It's missing. And we haven't seen too much of that time period talked about. We hear about Cool Herc. We hear about Rapper's Delight. And then it jumps to the Message. And then from there it goes to Run DMC through now. It's a lot of holes. And so the film did a great job covering those holes. But I'm gonna start off by saying thank y'all for joining me right here. Thank y'all for joining. What y'all talking about in the chat room? Ben Frank, what's up, Marquise? Foxy Brown, Jay Hundo, what's up, y'all? Sherelle Bryant. Yeah, what's up, y'all? What's up, Wally? What's up, everybody? I can't say what's up to everybody, but what's up? We got people coming in on YouTube, over on Twitter, Facebook, and my message thing is showing all of them at once. So salute everybody on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube that are in here making the comments. Dig what I'm saying? So yeah, we're gonna get into some things that were talked about in the documentary, expound upon a few things. I'm not gonna spoil it too much because I really want you guys to see it. So we're gonna talk about some things that were in the documentary without spoiling it, okay? We're gonna talk about it without spoiling it. So I should say minimal spoilers. It's matter of fact, you can't even call it spoilers because it's our history. When you hear me say it and you hear it again, matter of fact, you probably need to hear it multiple times. You should hear it multiple times because you get lied to every day. So when the truth comes, you can't just listen to the truth once and put it away. This is a documentary film that you're going to have to watch over and over and over again. If you care to really break down the history and have talking points against those who try to take our history from us. With that being said, what I need y'all to do right now is y'all need to go to DwannB.com right now so you can stay updated on everything that I do. Go to DwannB.com and you can see where my documentary is, my short. This is short. I have a full series I'm putting together on the history of Black American music. So, but you can go to DwannB.com right now, put your name down on the list to be a part of my email updates. You also can visit the shop. We got Juneteenth and Black Music Month, both in the month of June. June is our month. Have Pride. June is definitely Pride Month. Pride in Juneteenth and Pride in Black Music Month. Dedicated June 1979 by President Jimmy Carter. Never forget to celebrate Black music. It is a good thing that that documentary just dropped because we are coming on Black Music Month, and Black Music Month must be celebrated. Wear it proud on your chest right now at DwanB.com. Get the Juneteenth flag. And then also, look, y'all, I got my 100 years of Black American music history course, class 1 and 2, 6 more classes to go that are going to be uploaded to the site. If you want to get a jump on the classes, join right now. This is pre-recorded, but for a real detailed, comprehensive breakdown of Black American music from 1920, from the 20s till about the to the 70s, 80s. You want to get this here. We bring it through today, but we focus heavily on the 20s through the 70s, with giving mention to how we got to the 20s all the way through now. So I need y'all to go to DwanB.com right now for that. Click on courses, god damn it. All right, then go to the shop and get your Black American music t-shirts. You dig? T-shirts. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Microphone check. Yeah, what's up, y'all? Let's see what y'all talking about. Here we go. Yeah, what's up, everybody? So again, if you have, and hit the share button right now. Let everybody know we in here reviewing microphone check. So microphone check. Let me get my my music going. Shouts out to my man Duncan Penderhughes with the original beats that get sent my way. You're not gonna hear my beats other places like that. I get mine mixed originally. And no, I do not share. A lot of y'all be asking, yo, Dwann, where can I get that beat? You can't. They're all mine. And I holds my music precious. You dig? They're all mine. I ain't sharing shit. All right. Oh, you can get this t-shirt also at DwanB.com too. Goddamn Juneteenth, we freed ourselves. Get the Rebels for the Cause t-shirt too. Nat Turner, Robert Smalls, Bass Reeves, Denmark Vesey, and Jean-Jacques Dessalines, goddammit. So we here talking about reviewing microphone check. So microphone check was about a little over 2 hours, about 2 hours and 15 minutes, somewhere around there. It was long, but it was finely detailed. Finely detailed, very thinly layered with the details. So even the slowest, dumbest motherfucker can get what was being said. And it was a lot of continuity because you had a lot of different artists and a lot of different people saying the same thing from different perspectives. That's how you know the thoughts and ideals and what they were saying was original, because they were still agreeing in a lot of certain ways, but in their own way. You know, you had artists bringing up, you know, when they got signed and, you know, when they started dancing. You know, you had Melly Mel in it, Lord Jamar. Let me see if because I don't remember everybody's in it. Let me see if I can go on IMDb right now. Let me see if it's on IMDb. Oh no, it's not. Okay, microphone check. Documentary. Let's see. Cast. Yeah, it had Coke Rock, and it was very interesting with him being in it because everyone likes to talk about um Cool Herc, but they like to act like Coke Rock don't exist, And when they're talking about rap hip hop is about the rap first. Even though the DJ was the first to get the notoriety because at the time that it was featuring the DJ initially, and then the rapper was more so the person hyping up the DJ. I get and understand that's how it started in its origin, but that's not how it stayed. The DJ is actually more valued in electronic dance music than it is hip hop, because in EDM you got DJs getting paid $300,000 a night to DJ at clubs. These mega, and yeah, I did not stutter when I said you have house EDM DJs getting paid 300 grand a night to do these mega parties. And so the DJ is actually more valued in other genres than it is hip hop. Hip hop is about the rapper, about the MC. And Coke Rock was the first. And when they talk about the history of hip hop, they talk about Cool Herc, but they give slight mention to Coke Rock. And so I think strategically, for any kind of discussion that's going to be had, when you go into debate, and I studied debate in college. The first things you want to do in any kind of debate is neutralize and learn your opponent's argument and neutralize their points before they even say them. That's a very, very, very important debate topic. And I think Tariq did a masterful job with that because he hit on the points that he preempted their points, I should say. Another thing you do in debate is timeline. Timeline is very important. 2 years, 2 months is a major difference when talking about influence. And when you can get people that were at the genesis of the timeline, and in the case of DJ Hollywood, he also had DJ Hollywood in it. In the case of DJ Hollywood, before the timeline. And when you get that, you preempt arguments that they have. Understand what I'm saying? You preempt those arguments. So now when you come with someone later on, it's easy and obvious to say, hey, well, they were just influenced by the other guy who was first, wasn't he? Because if you notice, they'll talk all day about Cool Herc's influence, but they won't talk about Coke Rock's influence? What? Then he had Trixie in it. Trixie's was the first B-boy, the first breakdancing B-boy. You literally had Trixie and Sasa in it. The first of the first. So just by having their voices in it, their firsthand information, you preempt and you debunk anything that comes after. So somebody said Dr. Seuss is the first hip hop artist by her standards. No, those aren't my standards. Those are your standards because Dr. Seuss is all you can read, you illiterate motherfucker. Back to what I was saying. You just mentioned the only book that you can read. So Shut up and listen. Anyway, when you go and you preempt and you get people who were there, because people like Fat Joe's favorite argument is, you wasn't there. How are they going to say that? They wasn't there. Well, Fat Joe, you wasn't there with Coke the Rock either, so it's not going to be much you can say according to your own standards of, he wasn't there. And let's get on that point real quick. Y'all ever notice? See, Tariq did a great job of getting the people who were there, and I'm glad he did, because that's one of the hip-hop people's primary arguments. When fact is, outside and in the documentary, they showed the room in 1520 Cedric, the hall that Kool Herc was in. And they were saying no more than 50 people can fit in that little hall. And what I've heard before in previous interviews, it probably was no more than 20, 25 people who were there. It was just a handful of people. So outside of 4 hands full of people, nobody was there. But when did being there ever have to be a requirement to understand an event in history? Y'all wasn't there when funk was created. You wasn't there. I wasn't there when jazz was created. But we all know, can agree on it being a New Orleans thing that flourished out to the rest of the nation along the train routes of the time. Because everyone who's there, who was there for the most part, agrees. So I don't have to have been there, you dumb motherfuckers. You wasn't there either. So shut the fuck up. You wasn't there. Wait, so? I wasn't there when my parents fucked, but I'm here now. My spirit and soul was somewhere in eternity. And then God was like, all right, nigga, go on back to earth. Go on now. And I was like, man, we up here in the heavens chilling. Why the fuck do I want to go back to earth? I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I was somewhere with the Lord and the Spirit. Then God said, nigga, take your ass back down to earth, and you gonna be born in Los Angeles, California. Get ready, motherfucker. Let's go. I was like, fuck. I wasn't there. But I'm here now, God damn it. So anyway, Tariq does a good job of pointing that out in the documentary. Did a really good job of pointing that out. Let me see here. I'm going to change my music up a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to stay here with it right now. My music's original, niggas don't ask for it. So anyway, so he breaks that down, and he has sisters like Sha Rock, first female MC of note. Then Grandmaster Caz, Melly Mel, Lord Jamar, Dr. Randy Short. The other two brothers, I forgot the other brother's name. He filmed, Busy Bee was there. I filmed on the same day as Busy Bee. And I've drawn a blank to the other brother's name. I'm so sorry. Y'all saw the third brother who was at the museum. I'm drawing a blank. He was a really cool dude. Really cool dude. Very knowledgeable brother too. That he had in there. So Tariq had a good balance of people who were there historians like Dr. Randy Short, culture critics, music critics, and it gave a well balanced point of view. Now, I know a lot of people, from what I heard, I know that Tariq, I remember I did hear him at one point saying he did reach out to like people like Dr. Cologne and they said no. Um, and it would have been cool if a Latino was in the movie. It would have been cool. But to tell you quite honestly, it didn't matter that one wasn't in the movie. And let me tell you why it doesn't matter that one wasn't in the movie. Not to be, yeah, the journalist. Yeah, Cornbread was in it too. Cornbread, nigga, that shit was funny as fuck. They said that part where he said Cornbread painted the elephant at the zoo, nigga. That was so goddamn funny. I laughed the hardest at that part. I laughed the hardest at that part. The whole movie. When he said the elephant was painted. That shit was funny than a motherfucker. But it was people, it was one of those things and yeah, the second one. Yeah, I got the beats. Oh shit, Larry hoe ass here. Hey Larry, I'll slap your ears deaf, nigga. You won't hear you won't hear so you won't so much as hear as a train coming, nigga. Better stop talking. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. Back to what I was talking about. So uh what's up, Devin Haley? Hey, Devin Sloot. I appreciate you for taking those pictures of me on screen. She took the picture that I posted of me on screen in the theater. Devin took it and posted it on Instagram. I wasn't gonna be in the movie theater taking pictures of myself. That should have been hella. I'm an LA nigga. That would have been too corny for me. I have a certain level of dignity, and that was my first time ever seeing myself on the big screen. But the G in me wouldn't let me pull my phone out and take a picture. The G in me wouldn't let me do that. I've seen myself on TV before, but I've never seen myself in a movie theater. But the G in me, the LA nigga in me, wouldn't let me pull my phone out and take a picture. So I appreciate you, Devin, for doing it. The nigga Samurai Show said Larry the first nigga to tag a camel. That's right. That's right. That's right. um, but anyway, so let me get back to the point I was making. Why is it okay that we did not have, even though it would have been cool to have Latinos in it, it would have been cool. But I'm gonna tell you why it was okay that they weren't represented. Because black people, we can tell our own story. We don't need help. We don't need represent. We've gotten to a point in America to where, and it's all. I'm gonna say gotten to a point. It's always been this way, going back to slavery, to where a black man can't speak up for himself. Go back to what Dr. Claude Anderson teaches us um, in the Black History Reader. You had manumission laws that prevented black people from speaking for ourselves. And legally, no one will believe us unless a white person vouched for us. And that's been encoded into the consciousness of America and breeded into the consciousness of America for about damn near 400 years, 350, 400 goddamn years. Really even before the manumission laws of the 1800s, going back to the 1600s, a black person couldn't speak for himself. So the world has gotten conditioned to needing somebody non-black to tell them, okay, these black people aren't lying. And it's a deadly poison. And I don't get mad at people. So if you're a Latino or a white person or somebody listening to this, I'm not saying this to be overtly offensive. I'm saying this to be real. America has conditioned you, and especially black people, especially us. We, culturally, the overwhelming majority of us, I'm not talking about the few who get it, I'm talking about the majority. They don't believe other black people. They need to listen to a white person say it. We need to have more stuff that where we're the only ones speaking, you know? Condition the minds of our people to trust us again. It's very important that black people trust black people. And you don't trust black Tariq Nasheed because he told you what was in this documentary. You don't trust me because of what I said it. Look up what the fuck I said when I was in it. Be your own researcher. If you're pessimistic about what was said in that documentary, look it up. If there are any Latinos that were doing these things in the 60s and that we call hip hop, then give me the name, give me the year, all right? And give me what they were doing. Answer who, what, when, where, why, and how. That's the method for anything that's going to be scientific research. For all you niggas that don't like when other black people talk, just go back to what they taught your stupid ass in school. Answer who, what, when, where, why, and how. Look it up for yourselves. Look it up. So for that reason, I'm okay that other people weren't in it. And I know that's going to rub some people the wrong way, and that's fine. It's supposed to rub you the wrong way. That's called cognitive dissonance. If you're in America, you've been trained that black people we can't speak for ourselves. You need somebody white or non-black to validate what the Negroes are saying. Now, that doesn't mean I think that there's anything wrong with adding other people to it. No, it's not. I can't, when I do my documentaries moving forward, I can't say that I won't have an Asian in there or a white person in there. No. If a white person is who I need to get a point across within my documentaries, I will most definitely put them in there. An Asian, a Latino. If I have a point I need to prove and I'm proving, and somebody from one of those races fit what I need to answer, yes, I will put them in my documentary. So I don't want y'all to act like, man, Dwann, you sold out. No. Nigga, I believe in doing scientific level work, answering all the questions. But the issue is what happens with a lot of mainstream documentaries is they force those people into our documentaries. They force them in. And you'll be watching like, okay, why is he here? What the fuck does he have to do with anything? You'll be watching a documentary. I remember it was supposed to be a documentary on this comedy club here in LA that we were talking to the owner about 10 years ago. I'm not gonna mention the name. It's a black comedy club, and like a major network was thinking about doing a documentary about it. But they were going to force in these other comics, and I remember the guy ended up not doing the documentary because they were going to shoehorn in these white comics who never came down to that comedy club. And it was like, see, in a situation like that, that's the issue that we run into most of the times, and that's something that we got to break, and we got to get conditioned to not seeing. But at the same time, you don't need to have them in our shit. No, there does not need to be Latino or Jamaican representation in a documentary about Black American culture. No, it doesn't need to be there. If it's there, it's cool. I'm not gonna reject it. I'm not gonna be like, hey, I'm an open-minded cat. I'm very open-minded. I could take it in many different directions. But And I want to also give a say what's up to Nicety Girl and Sincere Love to God. I saw a little bit of their documentary, a little bit of their interview, um, and I saw that part where Dr. Cologne said that he should have been in it, and my question is for what? For the little I've seen of Dr. Cologne, I haven't spent too much time watching him, but for the little I've seen, his times and dates are still after black people were doing it. I'm very straightforward. Like I said, my minor was cultural anthropology. If you telling me something was a was a creator and it came after the creation, then there's no deal. I'm just what do you have to tell me after that? What do you have to tell me after that? And so what happens is you get people like Dr. Cologne that'll say, "Hey, one thing he said in Nicety Girl's interview, and dope questions by the way, um, dope questions that you both asked, you and Sincere, dope questions. Um, I haven't done a Twitter space in a long time. I might actually do one in the next couple of days to talk about this, so I can get Sincere's feedback and people like that. But when so what kind of what is his doctorate in? I don't know what his doctorate is in. That's a great question. That's a good question. But when I listened to what he was saying about, he made a point. Dr. Cologne made a point in their interview, and I didn't pull the markers up because I was, man, I was smoking a good ass blunt before I started this show, so I didn't timestamp. So I'm not even gonna try to play with pulling up their video because I didn't timestamp shit. I was getting high, smoking that herbal. Oh, and this is a free plug. This is a free plug. This is a free plug. My man J Mo Jarris Mosey, 4-time Grammy winning guitarist, working on some new shit with Anderson Paak. Man, he got these dope ass mushroom tablets, aliens. Y'all need to look these hoes up if you in Southern California. Y'all need to look these hoes up. J Mo got these. These are good for microdosing. He didn't pay me for this shit. But we just did Fat Fridays in Long Beach this past Friday, did some live music. And we had a dope time with some live music. He didn't ask me to do this. I didn't tell him I was gonna do this, but they sitting right here in front of me. And I think my brother man has a very dope brand. So this is on the house right here. My man Jarris Mosey, Aliens. Man, y'all need to if you're in Southern California, y'all need to cop some of these. I'm not a medical doctor, just if you just want to get slightly lifted, cop these. But anyway, back to what we're talking about. Free man, that's just a plug because I appreciate that brother man's music. I saw my man Henny Hendrix. Salute to Charlie Burrell, got some new music coming out pretty soon. Joseph Lineberg, master producer. I've been doing some work with him. I can't wait. Bruh, if you're watching, I'm coming back down to the studio, man. Laying some live music down. But yeah, we got some really good, really. While we're talking about music, I do want to take a break to say we got some really good live music that's out there right now. Anderson Paak got his new album coming out in a couple weeks with Knowledge, that new No Worries project. We got Brandy Younger. She plays the harp. She has some dope shit that's out. Adam Blackstone dropped a nice album last year. Kamasi's newest album, Kamasi Washington, just dropped a new album earlier this month. Mixture of jazz, a little bit of hip hop in it, a little bit of funk, a little bit of everything. And so Terrace Martin's been on a tear, releasing a lot of good music over the last year. He's released like 7 albums over the last year and a half. So it's a lot of good music. Keep following this channel. Keep following the channel. And Quan, I see you in the chat room. I'm my next incense and ashtrays I do is going to be on Frankie Beverly and Maze. I wanted to do it tonight, but I don't think I'm gonna get it tonight. So sometime, maybe later on this week, maybe Friday, maybe Thursday or Friday, we're going to do a dedication to Frankie Beverly and Maze. So follow me here on Twitter. Follow me on Mixcloud, mixcloud.com/at Dwann B. We are going to do a dedication to Frankie Beverly and Maze sometime this week. I'm gonna break down his life and his legacy, and we're gonna just celebrate his music because I saw this, and we're about to get back to it. But I saw this post that Mr. Mays, Mr. Frankie, I said Mr. Mays, Mr. Stanley, his Frankie. Y'all know Frankie Beverly's real name is Stanley, and that shit don't surprise me too because he make music for niggas named Stanley. This inspired me right here. This inspired me. This is the picture that Frankie Beverly put up on his Twitter, showing the sellout in New Orleans this past weekend. And they always say black people don't stick together and all black artists no. Yes, the fuck we do stick together. But Frankie Beverly and Maze gave us a reason to stick together. See, a lot of these niggas be wanting white audiences. They be wanting to cross over. And if you cross over, that's fine. But a lot of people be intending to cross over. They lose respect for the black audience. They say, why I gotta keep doing the chitlin circuit? Why do I could be a megastar? And they change their music up. They go for the bait. They go for them. Frankie Beverly and Maze never did that. They stayed true to the base of people who love them. From Golden Time of Day to I Want to Thank You to I Want to Feel That I'm Wanted. These cats made music and they stayed true to blackness. And look at how we return the favor. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. I was around. I was born in the 80s, but Frankie Beverly still before my time. You know, he was making music when I was a kid, but I wasn't into that when I was a kid. But I first went to a Frankie Beverly and Maze concert with my homegirl, now wife, but she was my homegirl back then, in 2001 at the Universal Amphitheater, City Walk. And I saw that performance that man put on. I got to see him at Essence Fest 3 times. And he stayed true to us, man. When he did the Gardena Jazz Festival around the corner from me about 5 years ago, man that lost his voice, we still sing along with him. This is the pinnacle of black love. Frankie Beverly and the group Maze spent their careers writing music of love, music of inspiration, music of high achievement, of family, of self-care, and community care. And to see Black America show up for him like that, this shit damn near put a tear in my eye. And I'm glad Larry's out there. And this I knew. Hey, now Larry, fuck you. I'm about to tell Larry had called me. Yeah, Larry, I'm about to put your bitch ass on the spot. And Larry, if you want, call in. But anyway, Larry was out there in New Orleans this past weekend. I was on the phone with him on like Friday. And I was like, man, what's going on? Larry was like, man, all I see is a whole bunch of old ass niggas in white linen. I don't know what the fuck is going on. This nigga Larry was walking down Canal Street and saw all them old niggas in mandals and linen suits and pastels. And that shit was pissing this nigga off. That nigga called me. He was like, man, all these old ass niggas out here. But he did say the women was looking nice though. You not married, I am, so I would have had to be like, I would have been in my. Larry's a good dude. He's in the room. I'd have been in the room like, yeah. But Larry saw all them old ass niggas out there in linen suits. That shit was pissing him off, and I'm glad it was pissing you off, you hoe ass nigga. I'm telling y'all right now, when I see niggas like old black men in linen suits, boy, turn on some Cameo and watch them niggas go. I bet you, I guarantee you, uh, 2/3 of this audience, 2/3 of the men in this audience got a Bluetooth in their ear. I promise you. 2/3 of the men in this audience in the year 2024 still have a 2003 Bluetooth in their ear. I promise you. I promise you. This is a 85% Mandels rate. Niggas definitely got their Mandels on. At least 7% of the women in the audience name is Shirley. At least 6%, 7% of the women's name is Shirley. 12% of the men in the audience name is Willie. What's up, Willie Green? What's up, happening cat, nigga? Guarantee you. It's at least 15, it's at least 200 black men in this stadium right now named Roosevelt. Roosevelt is at least 73. And half of the Roosevelts are in the handicap section. I guarantee you, 5% of the handicap section, their name is Roosevelt. There's at least 2,000 Maxines in this bitch. It's at least, all them black women in there, it's at least 2,000 of them named Maxine. You know I ain't lying. We got Shirley's, Maxine's, Deborah's. I guarantee you it's at least 500 Phyllis's in there. It's 500 black women named Phyllis. You got the whole goddamn Jackson, Mississippi DMV working up in that motherfucker, Department of Motor Vehicles. You got 2/3 of the Louisiana state and city workers in that bitch. You got goddamn every usher board in America went to church tired than a motherfucker. Every usher board in Louisiana got to church late on Sunday. Every usher board member in every church between Louisiana and Mississippi is in this bitch. You know I ain't lying. You know I ain't lying. Oh, shit. But salute to Frankie Beverly, man. This was just beautiful to see. This many brothers and sisters show up. And I guarantee you, it wasn't no problems. It wasn't no issues. Wasn't no tension. It was nothing but a love festival in there. I remember I wish cell phone cameras were around. My first time seeing Frankie Beverly and Maze at Essence Fest was Essence Fest 2003. And I remember being in that Superdome and seeing the electric slide go in 9 different directions all across the stadium. But everybody was still on beat. What's up, hoe ass nigga? Oh, your phone dropped. Call back, motherfucker. Call back. Here we go. What's up, hoe ass nigga?
Hey boy, this is what I forgot to tell you. Every old nigga that had a white that needed a cane had a white cane. I saw
Oh,
so
hell
many
nah.
white. Hey, I'm not making this
Nah.
up. I
Nah,
saw
they
white canes.
had matching canes.
Yes, dog, white canes. I knew it was something I left out.
Did these
I
niggas think
saw.
that they was Kappas? What the fuck?
You know how old niggas need canes. If they had I saw white canes. I saw every black man had on a white pair of Alexander McQueen sneakers. I saw white framed sunglasses and regular glasses, but every nigga had white, dog. And I'm telling you, the niggas who couldn't walk had white canes. I was like, oh, Y'all done fucked the game up with these white canes,
Man,
boy.
as
Matching
long as it,
canes.
as long as they didn't have no white rims on their wheelchairs, nigga.
Oh, I didn't see now. I didn't see any wheelchairs, but if I'd have seen a white wheelchair, I'd have just gone home, dog. I'd have gone home.
I tell you right now,
Yeah.
if I saw a white wheelchair, I'd have pushed that hoe in front of one of them tracks going down Canal Street, nigga. Like, nah, you gotta go, homie. That's too much.
Man, hey, they damn near them old niggas damn near jumped. They damn near jumped on the elevator. They was like, "Hey, brother, why you got on the black shirt and camo pants?" I'm like, "Nigga, because I'm not 80. I'm not going to the goddamn concert. I got a comedy show." They told me I was like, "You got on the wrong color." I'm like, "No," they was offended. They was offended that I didn't have all white. You got on the wrong color. You got on camo. I'm like, man, I got a motherfucking comedy show. Fuck you and Frankie. And I was asking niggas like, hey man, so what time y'all performing? And they was like, man, we ain't performing. Like, yes, you are. Y'all know Frankie ain't singing. Y'all singing. But he's
Nigga, you
earned
know
that
you
right
singing
though.
every note for that brother.
Yeah, hey, but you know what? Frankie has earned that right. He has man. This I've never been to a gathering of black people where I didn't hear Frankie Beverly and Maze. I don't
Yeah,
think any black person has ever been in a barbecue where they did not play at least one song.
yeah. And if you and
So
if
he's
you
earned that right.
and if you was raised by any black family, even if your daddy wasn't home, your uncles, somebody of that generation older than us was playing, and it didn't have to be a goddamn barbecue. Them niggas be fixing their car playing.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Nigga, that song remind me of Oil Changes. Nigga,
Dog.
you go over Uncle Henry house, that nigga up under the car, give me that wrench.
Mm-hmm. And don't drop it. Hey man, I always I, I always thought they were from New Orleans. I swear to God, I've always thought that. Where are they from?
Nah, they were originally named Raw Soul out of Philadelphia. Then they moved to
Okay.
Oakland. And then from Oakland, that's where Marvin Gaye discovered them. And then from Oakland, they moved to LA. And Marvin Gaye told them that he gave them the group. He said, nah, that name Raw Soul ain't gonna work. You gotta rename yourself. And from there, they renamed themselves Maze. And then that's when Al Heyman took them up on the road with Marvin. Um and yeah. And and so yeah, that's how that happened. And
Well,
yeah,
see,
it was and
why
so
was it? Why was it Frankie Beverly and Maze? Like Frankie ain't never sang with no other band. He just sang with Maze.
yeah, that's one thing I like about him because Maze is his band. Like, of course, he wanted his name out there to show you who he is. But I heard an interview with him recently, and they asked
Mm.
him would he ever have done it by himself. He's like, nah, I wanted to stay. I wanted to stay with the band. Like he didn't want to. He didn't want to break out and do his own thing.
Mm. Oh,
And
okay.
and you know one thing, Frankie, I know Frankie, I remember talking to I talked to the genius about Frankie. And you know a story I'm about to tell. Larry knows this story, but y'all don't. Because Larry, no, I think Larry, you were over the house when he told the story. Um, my
Yeah, I
father-in-law,
heard
we was
this
talking. I was
too.
asking him about Frankie, about music, and this was during the time the Commodores were doing. This is around the time they were doing like the Brick House, Zoom, those years. He said that Frankie Beverly and Maze, they would record at the studio down the hall, and every single time the Commodores would take a break, Frankie Beverly and Maze would take a break. Then they realized after a while, oh, that band ain't tired. Frankie trying to get at the mother-in-law.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they was taking breaks, so hoping when he would dip off, trying to holler at the women, because it wasn't just her, it was a few other women of the band. They were trying to holler at the women of the Commodores. Because Frankie got that play. Frankie got that play. He got that play history. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I don't blame him. I
That
damn sure don't
motherfucker.
blame him.
Yeah, man. This is it's a lot, and it's some more stories when I do my review of Frankie Beverly and Maze, it's some other stories I'm gonna tell, but y'all gonna have to come back and listen live to when I do my live music review of Frankie Beverly and Maze. All right, you motherfuckers.
Uh,
But anyway, you punk ass nigga Larry, what you got to say?
yeah.
What else happened up in New Orleans? Anything else you want to say about that?
I mean, that's dog. I'm telling you, it was all white all night, and the next day, like niggas had backup white outfits. Like I'm gonna kill them with this at the concert, and then Sunday when I'm leaving, I'm gonna put this up.
Backup white
It was
outfits?
bad. Yes, dog. Yes, it was.
No, no.
Hey,
Did you?
it was great.
No,
It was great
no,
though. It was
no,
you know
no, no.
no.
Uh Nope. Nope. I didn't hear that. Nope.
Yeah,
Them
dog.
niggas had one black.
Yeah, dog.
They had one outfit in the tracksuit. Nope. I don't want to hear that. Nope. They didn't have backup
No, I'm telling
mandates.
you,
Nope.
no. They had a really expensive linen for Saturday night for the concert, and then Sunday going home they had like a white. Yeah, you might have a white tracksuit or some white jeans and a white T-shirt, but it was white though, and white canes. I'm telling you, I saw a bunch of white canes. That shit was that shit was horrible.
Nah,
Yeah, man. I called in and
I would have been pissed
yeah,
off if I saw that. Like, I love Frankie, but all that shit that would have pissed me off. I don't care
no,
nothing. I'd have been pissed off.
definitely it pissed me off. It did. But one thing that warmed my heart was to see a bunch of black people dressed in white and nobody tripped. Because I'm like, if it had been a whole bunch of white people dressed in white, then might have to shoot.
Yeah, you get
But
that. You get that many white people dressed in white. It's about to be a
yeah,
lynching party going on. Somebody about to have their head on the
exactly,
stake. Somebody about to get burned alive, nigga. Something.
exactly. So I was glad to see all the brothers in their best white and white canes and all that shit. But man, I'm about to take my old man walk, man. Y'all support my brother, man. Book your readings, all that shit. If you see his bitch ass face on the flyer, go see him. Hey, Dwann, I'm gonna kill you, bitch.
You ain't gonna do a goddamn thing, Dave Bing. That was Larry Ho ass Goodwill. But back to what we talking about, the microphone check movie review. So another thing that I liked about this movie is when the way it attacked the Jamaican and Latin influence. I like the fact that they brought up the radio disc jockeys that were doing it. That's one of the parts that I spoke on. I'm glad Tariq put that part in the documentary. How this whole DJ culture out of New York, it makes perfect sense that DJ culture is born in the same city that hosted Jocko Henderson and Frankie Crocker as the DJs, the personality DJs that used to rap over the intros and the music. That's what 12 and 13-year-olds do. They repeat what they hear. You know? It talked about it talked about the movie talked about all kinds of. I don't know how to order it, y'all. Like I know they got Blu-ray. I gotta put the Blu-ray in my PlayStation 5. But look, I think Tariq is gonna stream it somewhere. I'm pretty sure he'll have it on the streaming site, and hopefully he'll put it up on Amazon Prime or some shit like that, so he can buy it like that or download it like that. Because this does need to get into like the ethers. This needs to get everywhere. It does, and so yeah, but it does a really good job of really pointing out the environment around hip hop. Another thing that he did, I think the documentary did well, was tracing it back to its Carolina roots. Because if you try to say that the argument that they've been trying to do, and the argument that attacks is they've been trying to tell us that hip hop is a New York thing, 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 a New York thing. But all of these forefathers were from South Carolina, North Carolina, Baltimore. So how could all of this be a New York thing when the people who did it weren't even they were raised in New York, but they were born in the Carolinas. And their parents come from the Carolinas. So that begs the question: if this person from a part of the Carolinas, from South Carolina, another person from North Carolina, could come up to New York and all still do the same thing they were doing then, is it the question that you would ask is that thing a culture of that city, or is that thing a culture of that country, or is that thing a part of that culture and that country and this specific group of people within that country? Because if a specific group of people find slight variations of basically the same thing from Seattle to Miami, Maine to San Diego, and all points in between, then it's a cultural thing of the people, not the city. So this is what I'm gonna need for people who don't like what was being said. You don't like what was going on. You don't like, this divisiveness or whatever. I got a message I want to give to you. Don't be a hoe. 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 This is irrefutable evidence within this movie, giving you cross-cultural context, names, dates, times, and locations, answering who, what, when, where, and why. If your only refute to that is, well, we was there. We was at the party. We was there. Then you know what? You're acting like a hoe. If your only retort is, we was there, then you know what? You're acting like a hoe. Acting like a hoe. Acting like a hoe. Acting like a hoe. You're acting like a hoe. I was there. We was there. That's not an intelligent retort to people mentioning the actual innovators and where they got the innovation from. One point that was not made in the documentary, because shit, it was so many goddamn points made. The man can't make every point. It's impossible to make every point because all points lead back to blackness. So if you're telling the truth, there's an infinite amount of points you can make that lead back to us being the people who created hip hop by ourselves with no help. And that is the fact that it's so many different, like when it comes to the points of references, the moves, the dances, the fact that black people have been breakdancing on film since the 20s, goes back before that. But you look at like what y'all call breakdancing in New York, wasn't much different than pop locking in LA. Both started around the same time. And how did the dances, like all the New York dances that were in hip, how did these dances get communicated nationwide? The means of communication for black people and for not just black people, for all y'all, because y'all, we weren't the only ones watching Soul Train. Y'all was watching it too. Soul Train. Soul Train was the means of distribution of the dances from the 70s on through the 90s. The new dances would be seen on Soul Train by all, and the Puerto Ricans in New York will watch Soul Train against their parents' wishes, and they would practice those. They would wake up in the morning, they brush their shags. Now they had them Puerto Rican shags, so they brush them all down here. They brush them Rican shags, and then when they're done brushing they Rican shag, they watch Soul Train, and they do what the people do on Soul Train, and then they go to the party, and they be at the party doing what they saw on Soul Train, just like everybody else at the party. That's why you being there doesn't mean anything. Nigga, you was watching Soul Train too, so sit your ass down. Hey, chat room, don't get distracted by Barry Smith in the chat room. That's a guy that just comes around here to troll. Don't worry, let him, he's a little, he just comes around here to troll. Yeah, correct him, but don't get frustrated. Correct him, but don't get frustrated. He's gonna stick to New York regardless, and for whatever reason, he wants the attention. Barry Smith, you got my attention. You like to troll the chat room. Generally, when we're talking about New York, nothing else, and you come in to monitor New York and to police us in our language and what we say about New York, and in spite of your efforts, we still continue to tell the truth about New York. We got love for New York, but New York ain't perfect, and New York can stand criticism. And if you're the kind of person that doesn't like people criticizing New York, fuck you, because we're going to continue to do it anyway. So, yeah, so Soul Train was the means of distribution for culture and dance, along with all of the Soul Train imitation shows. And Soul Train was a show that was created in Chicago, but filmed outside of its first season in LA. So there was a relationship, a cultural relationship that Black Americans have all across America, from the South to the Midwest to the Upper Northeast to the Upper Northwest, Northwest to the West. That's a good point. I've been watching the Super Bowl for years, still waiting. Exactly. They'll be like, I was there. Nigga, I done seen every Super Bowl since 1989, 1990. I done seen every one. Well, outside of a few, I don't watch football like I used to, so it's been a few that I've missed over the last 5 or 6 years. I've missed a few Super Bowls, but I done seen most of them. And I ain't like what you just said. I ain't got not one Super Bowl ring. Matter of fact, if we want to get all technical, when my Lakers won their last legitimate championship, not no punk ass bubble ring. Real Laker fans don't acknowledge bubble rings. We better than that, Laker fans. We better than that. But look, man. I was there at the last Lakers championship when my Lakers beat the Celtics in Game 7 of the 2010 NBA Finals. I was there. I ain't got no goddamn ring. To the point that brother made in the chat room. Hey, yo, Fat Joe, and all y'all people from New York talking about you was there. Nigga, I was there too. This was pregame to the NBA Finals. Big Baby in jail now, number 11. You got Ray Allen sitting right there. Rondo over there, Rasheed Wallace. I was there. My Lakers won it. You got my man Kobe holding the championship trophy up. I was there. I still don't have no fucking ring. Being there is not give you ownership of a genre or anything. I was there, but I wasn't playing the game. But I was there. That was another good point that Tariq brought up in the movie, Lynn. Pygmy Markham, from the South, not only did he play the Apollo, he died. I know he died in New York. I did not know. That's something I learned. I didn't know he lived and he died in New York. Pygmy Markham, Here Comes the Judge, playing the Carson show. Here comes the judge. Yeah, he lived in New York after he got off the chitlin circuit. Yeah, so it's like he said, "Sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger." That's how Fat Joe sounds. You wasn't there. You wasn't there. So what, motherfucker? I know my culture. I don't need to be there to recognize my culture. I recognize my culture when I see it in Seattle, when I see it in Chicago, Detroit, New Orleans, Memphis, Jacksonville, Miami, Newark, Trenton, West Palm Beach. When the few of us who were there, the few of us, I recognize our culture in Martha's Vineyard, San Diego, Vegas. We have a common culture that expresses itself slightly different based on the environment of the city that it's in. But we're still our culture. That's why it's so easy for us to recognize it. And that's why people like Dr. Cologne and those people who are trying to claim hip hop as anything other than Black American, the only thing that they can connect themselves to is being there. I appreciate that. A lot of y'all said y'all like my contribution in it. Man, that's cool. I appreciate that. I'm gonna tell you right now. Every time I came up on camera, I cringed. Nigga, my ass got tighter than the snare drum every time I appeared on camera. I do not like watching myself on screen. But I will say the audience here in LA had dope reactions when I was on camera. So that's what's up. But me personally, I can go without seeing myself. But some things you have to do. But that's one thing about life. In the things you really want to do, there are always things within it you don't want to do that you have to do in order to accomplish your bigger goal of what you want to get done. And my biggest goal is correcting the history of our music and Black people seeing ourselves in totality, our accomplishments and our downfalls. We all have downfalls, but Black society seems to be the only one that our downfalls are highlighted and our accomplishments and our greatness is never mentioned. And then when it is mentioned, we have to share our greatness with other groups. So my goal is to where we can like see our greatness, and at the same time, other groups, y'all cool, but y'all gonna have to respect it. You're gonna have to wipe your feet at the door when you come in our house. That's all. Just have some respect. You can kick in the house all goddamn day. Just know that you're a guest. And that's my goal. And so, in order to get that goal accomplished, that means I unfortunately have to get on camera sometimes. Y'all remember how I used to do this show? I used to do my YouTube show primarily behind the screen or in the dark. I very rarely got on camera. That's the part of this shit I do not like. That's what's up. You said the screen in New Orleans was great. My part was excellent. Appreciate that, DeAndre. Yeah. Oh, you said I stole it? Yeah, I appreciate that. But I know me. That's the part of this whole thing that I had to learn to accept. Is I'm gonna have to be on camera some goddamn time. Fuck! I like kicking it with the niggas. You dig? Smoking the weed in the back. That's what I like doing. I'm the nigga. I like being the nigga in the back with a glass of wine in one hand and a blunt in the other, watching everybody else. That's my preference. Yeah, they try to give our creations to other people. And you got a whole bunch of weak ass niggas that let them do it. Yeah, man, it was Puerto Ricans that was there, and they're just as equally as strong as us in the creating hip hop. All right, okay, name the Puerto Rican or Jamaican and name the dance that they created. Well, they didn't have a dance. It was just, well, shut your ass up then, nigga. And again, no disrespect to these other groups. I don't have any other issues with other groups. But I want to give other groups proper respect for what they've created. And I want to give my group proper respect for what we've created. Because if we want to end tension in Black America, we end black on black, quote unquote, black on black crime with knowledge of self and economic opportunities. You need two things. You need economic opportunities and environment, and you also need knowledge and pride and self pride. Because back in the 30s and the 40s, when we did create our own economy, when segregation hit in the 60s, we sold it. We sold our economies in the 70s and in the 60s because we still did not have an overall level of self-worth that where it needed to be. Again, a condition of white supremacy, a condition of miseducation. That's 300, 400 years of conditioning that can't be shaken in one generation, can't be shaken in two, but it could possibly be shaken in three. And we're that third generation. And that next generation behind us is the fourth. Post Jim. Oh, actually, we're the second generation post Jim Crow. We're the second post Jim Crow generation. Millennials. That third post Jim Crow, it's a new style Jim Crow, of course. But it's going to have to start with knowledge of self. It's going to have to start with knowledge of self and economy. Because when you build the economy, if you have the knowledge of self, you know what to do with it. You know how to spend it. You know the value of where your dollars are going. If you have knowledge of self and no money, all that just becomes a circle jerk. You got to have both the knowledge of self and the money. And that's why we push for reparations. You dig? I'm in a New York documentary because your mama asked me to be in it. She said, Dwann, you so smart. Ooh, woo, woo. I'm going to call Tariq and put him in it. That's why I'm in it. Any more questions? Yeah, you're right. Salsa ain't even a Mexican thing. No, salsa. Do you guys understand that Black America is the primary component in salsa? If I were going to put Black America as any ingredient in salsa music, we're the tomatoes. Go make some fresh salsa. You got tomatoes, cilantro, onions, and this other stuff. Black people are the tomatoes in salsa music. Why? Because it's bebop. It's a Latin rendition of bebop. Salsa did not exist before bebop. Dizzy Bird, them Latin musicians was listening to that bebop. Thelonious Monk, Max Roach, and said, "We want to sound like them. We want to sound like them. We want to sound like them." And they did. They went. They listened to that bebop, changed their phrasing, changed their melodies, changed their harmonies, but kept their flavor. But did everything else Black American. Black Americans are the salsa, are the tomatoes in salsa music. I said that. If you say it again, quote me, nigga. Hey, I was about to delete it too. I hit it by accident too. Yeah, they lied when they said created by Cubans, and it was created by Black Americans and Cubans in the U.S. You see how they be lying? They said, "I'm glad you put that in there." You just looked it up. It said salsa was created by Cubans. Yeah, it was created by Black Americans and Cubans in the U.S. You see how when it comes to them other groups, they'll give those other groups exclusive credit for what they needed our sauce for, but they will do our shit totally on our own. And because they was at the party, they get equal credit. You see how it works? I'm glad you put that comment in there, Compassionate Callous. Yeah, they put it there created by Cubans. No, created by Black Americans and Cubans. When the Cubans came to the Black American clubs, the Savoy, the places where Duke Ellington was playing, where Chick Webb was playing, where goddamn Count Basie was playing, where Coleman Hawkins and Thelonious Monk, where these guys were playing. That's salsa. The first salsa band in America, the band was 90% Black American. Do you guys know that? Machitos Afro-Cubans? Machitos Afro-Cubans, the first Afro-Cuban / salsa band. Machito and his brother were Cuban. The rest of the band were all Black American. That's why for this, go ahead and go to my course. I got 2 courses up. I'm gonna put the other 6 courses up this week. And I might actually even have a sale when I get the whole thing together. 100 years of Black American music history class. This is 8 hours. This isn't 8 hours. 8 hours of information. 1 hour on each class. All right? 8 classes total. DwanB.com/shop. Self-paced. This is self-paced. These are self-paced classes. Manteca came later after the Afro-Cubans. Yeah, Manteca was the first Latin jazz album. Yep. Yep. So when it comes to our music and our history, yeah, it's time we start laying claim to salsa. It's time we start laying claim to bossa nova. It's time we start laying claim to ska, rock steady, reggae, reggaeton, Afrobeat, Afro beats, salsa, Latin jazz, house, country. Because we've allowed not only genres within this country to go heavy metal, rock and roll, country, bluegrass, folk. We've allowed white folks to take those from us, but we've also allowed people in the diaspora to take and claim salsa, Latin jazz, reggaeton, Afro beats, without including us when they took it directly from us, according to the first people of their race that took it, because they weren't doing it to be thieves. The original Jamaicans, Latinos, Africans that were from Fela Kuti to Machito and his Afro-Cubans, they weren't doing it out of disrespect. They weren't doing it to be thieves. They were coming in honor. Same thing with the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. Even those jive motherfuckers came with honor and respect. Elvis came with honor and respect. Elvis sometimes gets a little bit of undue, unfair treatment because he did come with honor and respect. I'm not saying don't shit. We must use him as a shining example of how they steal our shit. So I'm not saying take it easy on them. But what I am saying is the media, the artists generally come in with respect. They're doing it out of respect. And the media takes it and pushes it into something totally different. And the only way that's going to stop is if we are the ones saying it stops. We have to be the one. No, yodeling is not European only. They also yodeled in the Appalachians, Bismarck T. The yodeling that we do here in America is not the Swiss Alps yodeling. It's the Appalachians yodeling of West Virginia. All right, my brother. All right. We must come together and understand that we are under attack culturally. And we must put our petty differences within the country to the side so that we can leave a cultural legacy and a cultural memory for the youngins coming up. All right? Donate to my documentary at DwannB.com. Go to DwannB.com. Go to the shop. Get your Juneteenth merchandise right now. Juneteenth t-shirts. Get them right now. Juneteenth. Celebrate freedom. Black Music Month. Get your Black Music Month t-shirts right now. The red, white, and blue. Your Black American Music Family Tree. All that. I got a lot. This side is full. I got my documentary. I even got my live drum sample packs on this bitch. I got my limited edition 1865. Nigga. And we also got on the homepage, sign up for all email updates right here. Check out my documentary short is bigger than hip hop, the Black American Music Family Tree, and donate to the GoFundMe. Appreciate everybody that donated to the GoFundMe. Keep it going. We are still putting the documentary together. Okay. All right. I appreciate y'all. And remember this. There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. I think I'm going to be on CP's podcast tomorrow, so check out CP's podcast when it come out. I think he puts it up on Wednesday. So, yeah, we're going to be doing that, all right? Thank y'all again for listening. I'm out.